Now, this morning, it was confirmed that Shannon Matthews has been released from prison after just 4 years behind bars. Now, she was found guilty of kidnapping her own daughter, that was Shannon Matthews, and she was dubbed by the press the most hated woman in Britain. Here's a reminder why. On February the 19th, 2008, Shannon Matthews was reported missing when she failed to return home after school to the Dewsbury Moor estate. Her mother Karen made a tearful plea for her safe return, and the whole community united in their efforts to get Shannon home safely.
I just want her home safe, really. Shannon, if you're out there, please, darling, come home. We love you so much. My family's missing her. Just let her go.
After a month-long search, on March the 14th, Shannon was found alive just a mile from her home. She was hiding under a bed with her stepdad's uncle, Michael Donovan. Shannon had been drugged and tethered by a noose in a kidnap plot devised to claim a £50,000 reward. 2 weeks later, Shannon Matthews was arrested after sensationally confessing to the kidnap. She and Michael Donovan were found guilty of kidnap, false imprisonment and perverting the course of justice, and sentenced to 8 years in prison.
Kids kidnapped his mum.
Well, with us now, the woman Karen described as her only friend, Julie Bushby. And we've got the criminologist and former police officer, Mark Williams-Thomas. Good to see both of you. Julie, why did you continue to visit her?
Because I wanted answers about, you know, I wanted, well, if you like, Karen's side of the story.
How did your friendship change with her? Was that non-existent? Did that stop, or did you continue to like her as a person?
I wasn't friends with Karen previous to it. I got friends with Karen whilst Shannon was missing. And, well, I wasn't really a friend, and I was never not a friend.
So how have you been the one that's ended up, she said she calls you her only friend, and you've been the only one to visit her. So how has that ended up if you weren't friends before?
Because I wanted answers. It was, I mean, I went to see her from when she was on the run. Did she give you
answers?
She gave me answers, but whether they're the truth or not, I don't know.
You wanted to know what?
Why? Oh, you know, all the ins and outs of it, really.
Were there other people involved? She seems to be hinting now there were other people involved. Do you believe that?
A lot of people believe there were other people involved. Karen hadn't got the brains or the intelligence to plot something like this.
So when you first heard, and you were there when she confessed, tell us what happened then.
There was me, Natalie, and a police officer in the car with Karen. And we were just, me and Natalie were just finding different questions at her regarding, you know, what we'd seen after the math, not before, obviously. And Natalie came out with a comment, and she just said, yeah, it's true.
And were you firing all these questions at her because you thought that she was involved in some way?
No, we were firing the questions because we knew Karen knew something. We knew Karen knew something that she wasn't letting on.
So what were your thoughts when she broke down and said, yes, she was involved?
I felt sorry for Karen, because it must have been so hard to actually admit in front of, you know, two friends, if you like, that she actually did know.
But see, a lot of people might be surprised by that and say, rather than feel sorry, that you'd feel shocked that a mother could do that and pretend that her own child had been kidnapped, to do all those appeals on the television news.
Don't forget this was all around the time of Madeleine McCann as well, which added to everybody's fear and hysteria about
the
this.
whole community on the Dewsbury estate really pulled together, and so was there not a lot of anger because you'd all tried to help her?
Not at that moment in time, because we were just shocked. I mean, you've got to put yourself in that position. We were in the back of a car. All of a sudden she comes out with the truth. Me and Natalie just looked at each other as though, did we just hear that right? You just didn't know how to respond at that moment in time. I felt sorry for her because obviously she cried at when she came out with it. So in my eyes it was like a relief on Karen's part as well, that she'd actually done it.
So when you visited her in prison, how did you find her? Did she cling to you as a friend? Did she need your help and support? Did she show remorse? How was she?
She never showed remorse, but Karen's not going to show remorse when in her eyes she's done nothing wrong.
Really? She really believes that?
Yeah, in her eyes she's done nothing wrong.
Right, okay. Do you want to put that in context, Mark, then?
Yeah, I mean, this is a case that shocked everybody, and I think shocked everybody. It went on for 24 days before she was found, and then when she was found, of course, she was found in a house with a member of the family, someone connected within it. And of course, in the initial stages, Karen maintained that she had nothing to do with it. Then that story changed, and in fact there was at least 5 different versions that Karen came up with. The problem with anyone, when they lie, they start to believe that lie, and particularly when there was so much media coverage. She was under scrutiny all the time, and that was of course very much the role of the family.
Julie also talks about her lack of intelligence as
do you
well.
think that happened to her, that she started this lie and then it snowballed and the press are involved and all the community are involved and she didn't know how to stop?
Well, it's like giving her a shovel, and then from this shovel she's gone onto a spade, and this hole's got deeper and deeper and deeper. And I mean,
it's just broken the family that we are the part.
She's just dug this hole and she couldn't get out of it. But I mean, it's like in court. The court's made so much out of his IQ, but they never mentioned Karen's IQ.
Yeah, but Julie, she's out. She's served half her jail term, and she's out. We know that now, and a lot of people will be annoyed about that. Well, what was her time like in prison? What did you gauge from what sort of experience she had in prison?
She had her ups and downs in prison, obviously. There were a fair few times that I went and she had a black eye. She told me.
She was assaulted?
Oh, yeah. She told me how she got them.
So she was frightened in prison?
She was particularly scared in one particular prison, yeah.
No,
on the visits she were looking around, you know, like this, all the time.
Could she ever go back to Dewsbury?
No.
Right, so what is going to happen to her?
Well, she's now, and she's been talked to quite a bit by Home Office, Ministry of Justice with regards to where they're going to locate her. Clearly they need to put her into somewhere where she's not necessarily identified straight away. They could do some of the simple things, you know, they can change her colour of her hair, they can make her look slightly differently, but in reality she still remains who she is. The problem with managing Karen, and there's a real problem with this, is that she is not the most intelligent of ladies, and as a result of that she won't necessarily understand the restrictions that are placed upon her, and anybody managing someone like this, they'll want to be in contact with people, you know, and Julie says herself, I'm her only friend, you know, who else is there? And while she's come out of prison, it's very much now a process of managing her back into the community.
Well, she'll get help with that though.
Well, she will get help, but she needs some confidence, she needs people to be able to talk to, and some of those will be people that she's got some kind of relationship with.
And would you be able to remain friends with her, Julie, if she's living somewhere else, she has a different identity? Well, is that not, are you putting yourself at risk living where you live and the feeling there is towards her of remaining her friend?
But the feelings towards Karen, it's not about me.
So you've
I've never
felt
from
by
the community.
association? No.
I've never been threatened by any member of the community for going to visit Karen. They've not, you know, they've not discriminated me because I go see Karen. I've never read that I've gone to see Karen.
It is quite interesting because Julie's been and visited her in prison, and of course then receives a letter saying to her she's not allowed contact with her when she comes out of prison, and of course she's now cut off her one lifeline that she's got coming out of prison. I mean, the offence was horrendous, let's not get beyond that, but the reality is who does she now have contact with in the outside world? And I think what they need to do, the probation service and the Home Office, is have a think. Let's make contact with Julie and say to her, look, can we manage this within the environment for you to be able to talk to each other so there is some kind of lifeline there?
Okay, guys, very, very interesting. A new chapter in all of this begins today, and I just wonder, will she be able to remain anonymous? I just wonder.
I don't think I don't think she will be able to remain anonymous, not only because it's very difficult to put someone out of prison and have nothing around them totally new, but also I don't think she'll be able to stay within the guidelines that have been set for her.
No. Okay. Thank you very much indeed.